So dream away.
Good morning from Terminal 4 at London Heathrow Airport. Today's video we're flying Iberia in the Premium Economy, which is called A330 Premium. Unfortunately I'm Terminal 4 and I thought yesterday they go from Terminal 3. They don't, so I need to take a transfer and then another train.
Turned up from black and white. Find what I'm seeking.
So that was really easy, just need a train now to Terminal 5.
Scars from another time. We're leaving.
So welcome to the beauty that is Terminal 5 at London Heathrow. I'm going to go straight into the journey map and talk about today's flight. London Heathrow Terminal 5 is the home of British Airways, whose parent company also owns Iberia, and no other airlines fly out of this terminal. Today's flight is a nice easy 2 hours and 25 minutes over to Madrid Barajas International Airport, Terminal 4S. Unless you're a little clued up or you've flown this route before, the 4S is significant because it handles Iberia's wide-body aircraft. With the hint there being that this is one of very few routes in Europe that features a large airplane on a short-haul route. I personally think it's not necessary for Iberia to have its own check-in desks, particularly given the presence of British Airways, which have so many. For such a huge plane, you would think the check-in would be so much busier, but literally I've seen straight away, so thumbs up for Q. Today's flight is actually marketed as economy, even though I'm sitting in a premium economy seat. So you'll have to find your own food and drink unless you have One World Sapphire or Emerald status. If you're not sure what that is or it doesn't interest you, feel free to skip forwards to here. Otherwise, One World status has recently become a lot harder to achieve, so this could be the last year that I get to enter the British Airways first galleries and see the large horse sculpture. Love it or hate it, it's certainly an interesting sculpture. Anyway, the next time I head through here, we'll be trying out British Airways first class with the doors, subject to any equipment swaps over to Singapore.
So dream away.
So in the nicest possible way, London Heathrow is a little bit of a premium airport, and as a result you get high-end shops. There's nothing really down to earth. I appreciate that I fly more than the average person, and I don't take that for granted, but while I could spend money at say Burberry, I'm more comfortable at the coffee from Starbucks price point. I do have a small dilemma because normally wide-body flights go from the C or the B gate, but I've been told it might be going from A18, which is slightly unusual, as normally the A gates support all the short flights and not the long ones. This turned out to be wrong information, with the only exception being when I've had a flight over to Seattle which used the A10 gate, which is where the buses take you over to the airplane, which happened to be parked in the C gates. So unfortunately the information I got wasn't quite right. It's going from the C gates, which makes a lot more sense. This involves going down an extremely long set of escalators and taking a short shuttle service calling at the B gates first. Just be aware that there's no lounge at the C gates and you should always allow a minimum of 15 minutes. Once you've arrived, there isn't actually that much to do here. There's plenty of seats, a WH Smith's newsagent, and a coffee shop. But if you love your planes, and who doesn't love staring at the Airbus A380, there are plenty of wide windows. What wasn't so great is that on short-haul routes there are about 9 boarding groups, but Iberia decided to have the pass scanned by group number, and then pack everybody into a tiny area the other side, making the boarding groups a little bit pointless. I suspect that the inbound aircraft from Madrid was late, because the boarding time came and went, starting 10 minutes later. I will just note that gate C61 is probably a cheaper gate for Iberia to rent, because the walk to the airplane is incredibly long. So while we walk, it's time to see what are the best seats in Premium Economy. We enter Iberia's A330 using the second door, with 8 rows of business class to my left in a 1-2-1 layout. Noting that if you get the A350, you can always pray it'll be the newer version with the sliding doors. And then directly to my right is Premium Economy, which has 3 rows in a slightly oddly staggered layout. Personally, I would avoid rows 11, A and C, because you'll feel a little bit like the greeting party for everybody else getting on the plane. Iberia's Premium Economy has 18.7 inches of width and 37 inches of pitch. There's a generous 8 inches of recline in a very pleasant 2-3-2 layout. I found the seat really comfortable with the optional footrest to keep the blood flowing, and a centre table which is just about wide enough for your arm to share with a friend, perhaps not a stranger. Unfortunately, there are no air nozzles, so if you're too warm, that's just eso es lamentable. The seats are designed by well-known manufacturer Recaro and designated the sexy name of PL3510, and have both USB-A and a universal plug socket. Even with the name, the seats look good and they're pretty modern, and they're the same ones used on sister airline British Airways, with the only other feature being the sturdy seat back pocket. What I really don't like though is the box under the seat, which is used to assist the in-flight entertainment screen. It just restricts your feet. Of course, you didn't realise that this seat is missing a window. Today's takeoff is proudly sponsored by the British weather, with grey skies and clouds occupying more or less 8 out of the 12 months of the year. Enjoy. With the meal service, I sort of cheated because this isn't a long haul route, but you can order pre-order items online. Unfortunately, they were having software issues, so they had to manually look it up on a piece of paper and what I had ordered, which was delayed by about 15 minutes. But they were wonderfully calm and polite about the issue, and the food was worth the wait. Having removed the lid of the box, I'd considered before ordering what breakfast items would be good, because it's then safe to say that the long haul meal will probably be, touch wood, be good as well. The orange juice can just be described as divine, as if it had just come straight from an orange. I also ordered a sweet yogurt with granolas, blueberry, and what appeared to be a single piece of strawberry. And the best part by far was not the croissant, although it was light and fluffy, but a posh looking luxury hazelnut cookie that was liquid inside and went all over my arm. Was the meal worth it? I think so, considering what you could get from a Starbucks, say in the airport. The flight itself cost me £47, with my luggage in the hold below costing £19. I think that's pretty reasonable for a short haul route, but the experience on the Airbus A330 is just next level, given you get free entertainment and a good set of headphones. Being a fairly old plane, unlike the A350s or 787s, I had my expectations low for the bathroom, and as a result I wasn't disappointed. It was clean, there's a large mirror, and a choice of hot or cold water. Wow, what more could you want? Useful information: if you ignore the business class, there are 4 toilets in the very centre of economy, with 1 additional toilet at the very back of the plane. And since I've mentioned economy, it's laid out in a slightly denser 2-4-2 layout, with a seat width of 18.1 inches, a pitch of 31 and a recline of 5, with a slightly smaller 9-inch in-flight entertainment screen. and avoid row 22 because of a lack of windows. The in-flight entertainment screen is 12 inches in Premium Economy. It looks really crisp, and with the flight time remaining there's just not long enough to start a movie, but the selection is excellent with plenty of TV series as well. There's a really decent interactive route map, information about different destinations can be found on here, and you can even view the onboard menu. Whilst the flight was extremely pleasant, the queue for immigration on October the 1st was not. I didn't really know where to go, and it was like 1,000 people had suddenly arrived at the same time.
So there are a few things to note from today. The first being that Barajas International Airport was pretty chaotic. It wasn't really obvious where you meant to go, and which passport and which queue, etc. As for Iberia, it's important to note that this isn't a flight with Premium Economy, so really you treat it as economy. The food I did enjoy. The oatmeal cookie was so big, and I loved the really gooey Nutella centre. There was a little bit of confusion because they hadn't been told exactly what passengers had pre-ordered, so they get it, but they had to go to the back and check, which is more work on their part, so I feel a little bit sorry for them. Entertainment, big plus, and being on a wide body in general, a short haul route is just wonderful. Maybe in the future I'll try it on a longer version and see exactly what food you get and whether the service is just as good. I'm sure it is. Anyway, thank you for watching. See you in the next journey.
And now I'm heading into Madrid for the day because this evening I have a flight with China Eastern over to Shanghai. Was it good? Yes. Was it perfect? Not quite. You just have to wait, subscribe and hit the bell if you want to see how that goes. Either way, muchas gracias and hasta luego.